How's it going today, guys and gals? My name is Gene, and welcome to this week's AA meeting. So, the time has finally come as Chapter 137's Raws and English translations have dropped a few minutes ago. Typically, the official release falls around the 9th of every month, and the spoiler version every YouTuber and person wanting to read the manga comes out anywhere from 3 to 4 days in advance. However, with there being only 3 chapters left, including this one, I can see Isayama and his team keeping these chapters pretty tight guarded. Hence why there were so many questions on the validity of any of the spoilers that were released prior to today, and why we have these pages only one day till the official drop. Before I go any further, I think it's fair to promote the manga and tell people to make sure they support the team behind this amazing work. Last we left off, Armin had met with Zeke and Paths, and the Lions seemed to be struggling with the Titan barrage facing them. Will we learn the real meaning behind the centipede creature? Will anyone die? Let's find out. Really quickly, before we start, I wanted to mention a few things. First, I'm changing the way I do the breakdowns. Instead of going over every other panel, I wanted to cover what happens in the 3 acts in particular. This will keep the breakdown portion shorter and give me more time to discuss the events that transpired. If this breakdown portion doesn't at all interest you and you want to get to the part where I do some analysis, please skip to this part right here. Anyway, that's enough rambling, let's get into this. Act 1 of this chapter is the conversation between Armin and Zeke. Zeke discusses about the particular life form that has led to the events of present. This creature, or mass as referred to in the manga, is called life, and its existence is based off its desire to live from multiplying. We learn that life takes on new forms to spread itself, and as Zeke mentions, the meaning of life is to multiply. Here we can start to connect the dots that we are life, as things in nature like sand and water don't look to multiply. Zeke then begins to talk about Ymir and how her ultimate fear led her to create Paths, a world free of death, and as Armin asks Zeke about her goal, he cannot determine a definitive answer. A girl full of strength, but desired to follow the rule under the king because she felt attached to the world she left behind. Eren was the only one of the two to understand this sentiment, which is why she chose to follow Eren. Zeke, at this point, seems to have given up, where Armin has not. The two go back and forth about continuing the fight, as Zeke questions why fight when inevitably they will all die. Armin picks up a leaf off the ground and thinks back to the times with his friends and his purpose of life. To Zeke, however, this leaf represents a baseball he used to throw around, and as he is left stupefied, Armin lets him know there are few things in life that are precious without needing to multiply. As Zeke realizes this and remembers back to his time playing baseball, the shifters of past come behind the two. Act 2 starts outside of Paths and begins with Peak losing her hand from the constant fighting. Jean quickly rescues her and retreats, only to find Reiner in a much worse situation, as 2 Titans attack them from behind. The panels then focus on the others, as Annie's having trouble fighting the horde of Titans running in her direction. As things seem hopeless for her, Berthold's Titan comes out of nowhere, assisting her by knocking away all the Titans. It isn't just Berthold's Titan, however, who's helping out. It's every Titan shifter of past relation to the Lions who's helping out in the battle against the other Titans. Mikasa goes to rescue Armin from the pig Titan. Never miss a shot Gabby is able to shoot out the Titan's eye, stunning it to allow Mikasa to cut open its jaw and rescue Armin. Armin is able to kill the Titan as Connie comes to cut the tongue that kept Armin and the Titan connected. The Titans of past shifters continue to battle one another as Zeke appears from the massive Titan, ready to be killed. Armin explains to those around him that Zeke has woken up the past users, and that Ymir wants a connection between all Eldians. Both Armin and Zeke speak to their respected affiliation and ask to be lent strength in order to continue the fight. Zeke stares off into the distance and monologues for a minute, but Levi kills him without any hesitation. Once Zeke dies, the rumbling stops. Act 3 is the shortest by far, and begins with Jean being protected by Reiner as he heads towards the explosive device. Once he gets his hand on the trigger, he contemplates for a second, but detonates the explosive on Eren's nape, causing the head to detach from the spine. The spine-like creature appears and tries to reconnect. However, it is stopped by Reiner as he grapples against it. Everyone retreats on Falco, as we learn Armin's plan is to blow the remaining of the Founder Titan with his transformation. As everyone flees but Reiner, Armin is lifted as some god by both the Colossal and Beast Titan. The final panel shows him mistransformation, seemingly blowing up the rest of the Founding Titan, concluding Chapter 137. So how's it going, y'all? This is post-editing Gene. I just wanted to let y'all know what is going on in this analysis portion. Yesterday while recording, I guess my wonderful Blue Yeti microphone or Audacity itself decided to give out on me. So there's a couple portions in this recording that you're going to hear some microphone pops, and especially one portion in particular, you're going to hear a little screech. It's not too bad. I wanted to re-record everything, but unfortunately, Audacity will not connect to my wonderful Blue Yeti microphone. This USB advanced audio is not the Blue Yeti, and every time I do record, that little warning pops up. I tried uninstalling Audacity and re-downloading again, but it did not work. So please bear with me. If you are one of my subscribers, you know I typically don't like to put out horrible quality. Again, I will try to fix this and improve this in the future. And then another thing as well, in my prediction section, I do talk about Armin's final speech, where he discusses, without all your strength, we wouldn't be able to stop the rumbling. And like an idiot, I did not see the goodbye portion. I only saw the Aaron portion. So for a second, I thought he was speaking to Aaron. But no, clearly he's telling goodbye to Aaron. So what I want to do in the future, possibly in a day or two, depending how long I can get this fixed, I'd like to do a quick little live stream with all of you guys to discuss more predictions and things that are going to happen. Again, thank you for everything. You guys are amazing, and please bear with me. Thank you. So even though I enjoy this chapter, there seems to be a lot of negativity thrown to what is going on. Isayama really threw us theorists into a loop by showing us something that I'm pretty sure no one predicted. For starters, let me be the first to admit that my theory of Ymir having any control over Eren has been disproven in this chapter alone. There are also a lot of people who are on Team Eren and are shocked to see that the master plan was stopped with what seemed to be like the power of quote-unquote friendship. Before we all panic, however, let's understand that there are a whole 2 chapters remaining. So at this point, there is a possibility of anything. This chapter did end with more questions than answers, but at this point, let's trust Isayama knows what he's doing and appreciate what is closing in the next few months. The topics I'd like to cover for this chapter are as followed: the ending, and why Zeke was able to awaken the past users. Without further ado, let's talk about why we shouldn't be upset about whatever the ending is going to be. Endings are complicated. To simply put it, more times than not, especially in the world of manga, endings can really ruin a fan's perspective of the story. Shorter stories don't face this problem as much due to the length. Most everything gets settled. However, a longer manga, for example Tokyo Ghoul, faced a lot of criticism for the ending because it felt rushed, because there were a massive number of holes in the story that weren't covered. Attack on Titan will have these same issues as well, if not covered in the next 2 chapters. 2 examples I can think of off the top of my head are the creature of life. It was touched a bit in the beginning, but there are still a lot of questions I have, like, why did it choose Ymir? How did it end up in the tree? And Ymir, even though she has been shown not to have no part in bringing Eren to this point, we still have to admit she's quite a mysterious character. I do not think these will be covered, but at the end of the day, I do not think this is the biggest issue the community of fans this series is facing. Oddly, the fan base seems to be at an all-out war with how this series should end. A lot of people want a sad ending in which Eren wins and loses at the same time, and hate the idea of the Alliance stopping the rumbling. Then there are those who want a happy ending in which anything is possible, including things like ships. These online wars remind me so much of the conflict faced amongst the nations in Attack on Titan, which could either mean Isayama is doing an amazing job showcasing reality to us, or we as readers are too ignorant to understand what we are reading. I'm not saying all of us. In fact, most of my subscribers agree with my motto of an open discussion between different sides. We all have different opinions. That's the beauty of opinions. They're neither right or wrong. Whatever happens April 9th, we should appreciate that we were a part of this powerful journey. If you dislike the ending, forcing you to hate the series, that's okay. But you shouldn't attack those who do like the series, and vice versa. At the end of the day, the meaning of Attack on Titan is something we should all use in our daily life. People who think differently than us suck, but instead of hating them for it, listen and create a dialogue where we can share our opinion as well and live on this beautiful world all together. Speaking of creating a dialogue, that is something I like to do here. Does Zeke being able to awaken the past users seem kind of off? To me, it kind of feels weird, considering all that has taken place. For one, why is it strictly users that both Armin and Zeke know? If those users are neither alive or dead, how do they possess the will to fight in the outside world? Also, if Ymir had chosen to follow Eren, why is she at the reunion with Zeke and Armin? From all I can gather, Zeke's defeatist mentality only furthered the destruction caused by the rumbling. Zeke wasn't enslaved in past as I thought, but he didn't care to do anything but let the rumbling take place. It wasn't until Armin awoke in this passion in his heart he was able to awaken those close to him. I still think there's a lot more questions than answers. For one, are these people only here to follow the will of Zeke and Armin, or are they really free and wanting to stop the rumbling? If they are free, why is Scout Ymir here when her desire was to protect Historia? And the best way to achieve that is to let the rumbling take place. Again, I'm not an expert, just some guy on the internet with passion. But let's create a dialogue. Comment under and let me know why you think this particular situation is being handled the way it is. Finally, let's talk about some predictions. With what looks like to be a win on Team Alliance, the question can be raised, where is Eren located? Some have theorized with the Warhammer ability he is still at the island of Paradise and is going to go see Historia and her child. I'd be hesitant to agree with that fully because we do see Eren's head detached a few chapters ago, and I'd feel someone would have noticed a giant cable-like thing coming out of the ground back on Paradise. Personally, I feel he's within the chin area, but considering Zeke appeared from bone, anything is possible. Ultimately, what do you guys think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, GG Reiner. Hope you make it to chapter 138. Anyway, that is going to do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you don't want to miss another AA meeting, please consider subscribing. Quick shout out to Zero Requiem, Lucio, The Ninja Spy, Danilo, The Professor, and Black Puma for commenting in my last pinned comment. This has been Gene of Ascension Anime, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.
目覚めたまえ我が主たちよ